What's up, guys? So I did a video on my Derringer, and you guys saw the error that I got when I was actually doing my test going up to 6% grade. I have some updates on that. So some people in the comment section were pretty much attacking the product, and man, Ford fanboys, I tell you, you guys are a lot. And I thought the video was pretty self-explanatory. I wasn't doing it to pick on Ford. All I did was take my standard output Duramax, because remember, GM only has the standard output version of this engine, and I compared it with Ford's high output. The diesel option in this is $9,990. Ford's is $13,995 for the high output Power Stroke. So if you think about it, I had $4,000 that I saved getting the Duramax, and I can use that money to make it a high output version, because the Derringer is basically a high output tuner, which is why I dubbed my truck a high output Duramax. It wasn't to pick on Ford. I was just using Ford as the basis point because, as I've said in the past many times, but you don't watch those videos or you don't comment on those videos, I said that Ford is king of the hill. So I was using my truck as the basis point to go up against the king of the hill. But again, I know you guys are getting paid by Ford to be a fanboy. I'm going to switch over because GM doesn't pay anything to be a fanboy. And I guess Ford pays well because a bunch of you guys got in your feelings. Like, some of you guys were like, my truck lost because it didn't get up to 80 miles an hour. And you failed to watch the 0 to 60 and quarter mile times. Did you guys not see what my truck did? But you skipped that. You also probably skipped the video where the Ford Trimmer, which is similar to my truck, did not do as good. But I redid that test because the Ford high output having potentially a regen, which is why I didn't do as good for the climb, although a lot of you guys agreed, and I agree too, that that truck did exactly what it was going to do, whether it was doing a regen or not. But I wanted to make an excuse for Ford because I don't want Ford guys to come after me. So just a quick recap. You guys know I've had the boost tubes and the turbo inlet now for probably 10,000 miles, somewhere in that ballpark. I added the cold air intake about 1,500 miles ago. I did a fuel economy run with this. Because of that controller, banks can pretty much flow how much air they want through that thing. And boy, oh boy, that is a game changer. The sound is a plus, but the fuel economy that I'm getting 3 to 4 mpg better. I did a tow test that proved that. I also did a 300-mile round trip with this cold air intake, and I got like almost, was it 21 or almost 22? I can't remember now, but I have a video out there. You guys can go look for it. Game changer. No check engine lights so far. The Derringer, I added this about 1,000 miles ago. So I typically try to do some testing before I post a video. I want to try to see, am I going to get a check engine light? Now, something that Banks and I agreed on a long time ago, when I started actually pushing their products, I did have a conversation with one of the heads there, and I said, hey, I'm not going to lie. I said, if I have a product that fails, I'm not going to hide the video. I'm not going to pretend like it never happened. I'm going to post the video. And they were like, absolutely. They were on board with that. They says, yeah, because if there is an issue, we want to fix it, obviously. And so, again, I didn't have to show you guys this Derringer. I know that you guys think I'm getting paid by Banks to do these videos. They are not paying me to do these videos. I will say it one more time. They are not paying me to do these videos. Now, if you decide you want to buy a product from Banks, yes, I do get a small commission from them, but they're not paying me to do these videos because I would not take the money, because I'm not going to lie. And therefore, when I did the test on the Derringer, they did say that they had an update that would fix the problem. However, I still posted a video because I want to be transparent about everything that happens. If I get a check engine light with a cold air intake, I will post a video because I want you guys to know the truth about these products. And so that's why I've been driving my truck a little bit more, and why I've been doing a little bit more pushing on these products, because I want to see, hey, do these products make a difference? And I will tell you, the boost tubes and turbo inlet, your boost comes on just like that now. They absolutely make a difference. However, those upgrades with the cold air intake is probably where the money really is, because those things together really give you that boost a lot longer and a lot stronger. The Derringer is just, it's the icing on the cake. This makes the truck pull so much better. When I have a chance, once I do the update for this, we'll do another pull test to see how it does. I'm willing to bet you guys it's gonna go 80 miles an hour. So the 0 to 60 that I did with the Derringer hooked up to my trailer, it wiped away the 0 to 60 test I did with just the cold air intake and the boost tubes and turbo inlet. And it beat the high output power stroke. Now, a lot of you 4 guys pretend like you didn't see that footage. But yes, this truck was faster, and that was after the error. So like I said, the reason why the error happened is because of the parameters that they set with the system. They set the parameters so low because if GM were to do a tuner for the Duramax, this is what it would be right here, because it's going to protect the transmission and the parameters are set. That way, if you are someone like an idiot, like myself, I'm an idiot, I'm going to go balls to the wall because I want to see what's going to happen. Am I going to blow my trans? Am I going to blow my engine? And the Derringer said, wow, the oil temp, the coolant temp are rising very quickly, and the ambient air temp is really high. Density altitude was 9,500 feet. So the system said, nope, cut power. And that's what it did. It did its job. So if you're concerned about this blowing up your engine or blowing out your transmission, you just didn't do your research on the system. Banks actually has tuning. I would put that in quotations. It's like tuning for the transmission because through the shifts, it drops the power from the Derringer. So as it's shifting and coming out of that shift, there's no power being added. And they do that because they want to protect the transmission. They want to protect idiots from blowing out their transmission. Now, there are tuners out there that will allow you to have all the power through the shifts because there is no transmission tuning for these 24 plus trucks. There's no transmission tuning. You can now do tuning with the ECM. Where is the ECM at? Is that it? Or is it back? I don't know. Wherever it is, it's somewhere in the engine bay. But yes, if you want to do now a delete kit on your truck, the 24 plus trucks do have those options now. But again, I will not lie to you guys. If Banks products have issues, you will hear about them on this channel. And Banks is okay with that. If they weren't, I wouldn't even test the products. I wouldn't do it because it wouldn't be fair to you guys. It wouldn't be fair to my channel. And I want you guys to know the truth about anything that I add on my truck. And so far, no issues with the cold air intake. No issues with the Derringer except for the one that I had going up the grade. But again, was it an issue or was it just the system protecting the truck from a potential failure?
Here's the email I received from Jay at Banks. It says here, when you have a moment, please update your iDash-Pro and Derringer firmware. I recommend doing it on camera. It takes about 6 minutes per update here. So there's just 2, one for the iDash-Pro, one for the Derringer. The good news is you can do this on your phone, which you guys just see here. So if you have the Derringer and iDash-Pro, you can go ahead and do that update now. Now, it does say here, fail-safe notes. In your previous video, you witnessed our active safety watchdog circuitry in action. I'm going to put that really quickly right here. The Derringer discovered an issue and seamlessly returned to stock performance. You kept driving down the highway uninterrupted. This active safety system is patented. Derringer is the only tuner that can bypass itself in the event of an internal or external issue. Other inline tuners leave you stranded. So, explanation of Derringer error. Upon digging into the code, our firmware team discovered a mass airflow fault trigger had been set too sensitive. It was throwing an internal code even though there was no actual issue. This trigger has been updated in the new firmware. Good news, this is an opportunity to show how easy the iDash-Pro, Derringer, and Pedal Monster can be updated wirelessly. We push updates and new features almost monthly. So again, there was really no issue with the Derringer. Banks is kind of like your OEM tuner, as I call them. I mean, they want to give you good usable power where you need it at, and that's basically what the Derringer does. And if there's any issues, as you guys saw, the watchdog did its job in the video and protected the truck because it foresaw some issues because of the temperatures climbing so quickly.
So if you have the new iDash-Pro, it's very easy to go in here and set this up. So let's just go to this one here. And you guys see right there, firmware available. So hit continue and figure it's going to take about 6 minutes for this to do, so we're not going to sit here and wait. I'm just going to show you guys just how easy it is to update this system. And there it is. You guys see what time it is? 2:33. You guys see the time? 2:38. And we're like almost at 100%. Literally exactly 100% at 6 minutes. Okay? Now it's just saying it's updated. So all good to go. But that will pretty much end the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I actually had to do the Derringer 2, so figure it's going to probably take, just set aside 20 minutes to do the 2 updates. One for the iPro and then one for the Derringer if you have it. Now I am going to do a test redo for the Derringer now that that issue is resolved. And before you guys get in your feelings about me having to do a second test, remember, I did a test redo for the forward high output power stroke. So again, it's apples to apples. You guys said apples to apples. Apples to apples. Peace.